Hey guys, video is going to give you a little bit of information about how to do your research for your short story essay and for your drama essay. So make sure you're reading all of the instructions for the essay and refresh yourself in those videos if you need to, but this is to show you like actually how to find sources. So remember, in the instructions, they say that you must get your sources from the Northeast State Library, something databases probably. So just keep that in mind. So start here. You don't do any other random searching. You don't need to do anything weird. We're just going to start with the library databases. So if you want to get, I'm starting here on Google because, sometimes people have difficulty navigating to the library. All I did was Google Northeast State Library and the Wayne G. Baszler Library comes up right here. So you just click on that and it's going to bring you to this homepage. So this homepage has lots of different stuff on it, and look at all that stuff in the library, your class librarian module. That will give you a good tour of all of this as well, but this is meant to be like specific for our class. So there are a couple of different ways that you can search the Northeast State Library, and one of them is just to search the entire catalog. So the catalog, when it says search the catalog, it means everything at Northeast State that the library has access to. It's going to search books that are actually like physically in the library, and it's going to search all of this like stuff that we have access to online. And most of this stuff that we have access to online is behind a paywall everywhere else. So if you just were to Google some of this stuff, it wouldn't come up because of like publication information and all this stuff. It would cost money somewhere else and you wouldn't be able to access it. So using the Northeast State Library databases and resources is going to get you access to stuff that Google is not going to be able to give you because it's behind a paywall other places. Okay, so one of the ways that we can use that or find that is to search the whole catalog. So the catalog is, remember, all the stuff in the whole library. So I'm going to try just looking up. So one of the short stories we read is Sonny's Blues by James Baldwin, and I am just going to look up James Baldwin and see what happens. So it's going to search everything, including like physical books that we have at Northeast State Library. So that if it's a physical book or a DVD that's present at the library, it'll look like this. It'll say available at whatever, or it'll say available online. So this is all going to be a whole bunch of stuff. This is like 5,000, over 5,000 results. If you want to narrow your search, you can go over here and look for things that are only available online, only things that are peer-reviewed journals. You can look at only things that are books, articles. It's not going to narrow it down that much. But just know that you can filter your search by using this stuff over here. You may not be able to filter it like a whole lot, but you will be able to filter it a little bit over there. So it's given me all these books. It's given me some articles. But it's still given me there's like 2,000 things, which is maybe too much to look through. So if you're wanting to do some of your research on James Baldwin, like as a person, like do your research on the author, maybe this is how you go about it, and you just look up book chapters. There's lots of books about James Baldwin. People like to write about him. And then there's lots of articles and that kind of thing. But let's say you wanted to find stuff that's specifically about Sonny's Blues. I would put that in there as well. And now I only have 54 results, and this one doesn't seem to be in English. So that's more of a manageable number of results. So remember, for this essay, or for your essays for Comp 2, you can find sources that are about the text, so that are about Sonny's Blues specifically, and there's plenty here. Or you can find sources are about the author, or you can find sources about some kind of theme that's in the story. So maybe instead of looking for Sonny's Blues, which I seem to have some good results there for, I would want to say James Baldwin, and maybe I want to write about music. And let's just see what happens. So this gives me similar but different results. It looks like this book is about that pretty much. It looks like there's some other stuff, even DVDs. That's cool. So videos and stuff totally count if you want to use those as well. Or maybe I want to talk about James Baldwin. Addiction. Let's see. Okay, there's 21 results. There's one about Sonny's Blues. So just know that there are like lots of different things that you could do your research about. It doesn't just have to be about the short story itself. It can be kind of really anything that has to do with the short story. And I encourage you to pick something that's interesting to you or that applies to you, something that stood out to you from the story, instead of just finding stuff that's like literary criticism about the work itself. So there's one about Harlem. So this may be all you have to do. So searching the whole catalog is going to give you everything that Northeast State has access to, and that you may be able to get by just doing this, by just searching the catalog. Now, I will say, let's say I want to look at this book. Once you click on it, you will have to sign in again, and your username and your password are going to be the same as your username and password that you use to log into D2L. So it'll make you log in. I'm like on campus right now and it still makes me log in. So it looks like, well, womp womp. It looks like this book is at the library. So we will pick something else. If you want to come to the library, of course, you are more than welcome to, and the librarians are super duper helpful. But let's look at the stuff that is available online. So I don't even look at what this is about. So it will give you different options for full text availability. Usually there's this box. I would probably use that. Click on that and it will take you to JSTOR here. And there's a video about JSTOR in our class librarian things if you want a tour of that. And then you can download it, cite it, save it, all that kind of thing. So that is one way that you can get some sources, is just doing a whole catalog search. But I also want to show you the library databases just so you're familiar with them. And I'm hoping that you're familiar with them from Comp 2. So I got a little ahead of myself. So remember, you search the catalog by just looking here, or you can click on databases, and we have all sorts of different databases. And a database is just a curated collection of information. Think of different databases like different streaming platforms. So you've got Academic OneFile, that's going to be your Netflix. You've got EBSCO, that's going to be your Hulu. So they're all kind of the same thing, but they have different collections of stuff, and they are going to look a little bit different. So you can filter what we have, like a whole bunch of databases, 128 databases. So there's general ones. These are the general ones over here. Usually the featured databases are usually going to be general, Academic OneFile, EBSCO. Like, these are good general ones. Again, and you might be able to just get away with using those, but I want to show you other stuff. So if you filter by your subject and you go down here to literature and you have to click search, it'll give you these best bets. So Gale has a literature one, a literature criticism one, and literature resource center. I truly don't remember the differences between these. I've used them all and they seem to kind of have the same stuff in them, so I'm not sure why they're different things. But you can use JSTOR. That's a good one. It's pretty. And you could look up James Baldwin, Sonny's Blues there, and get a bunch of articles. So generally the databases are not gonna, like, they don't have like books on them for the most part. It's just gonna be articles. And again, this little thing over here will allow you to filter your results. Sorry, I'm not talking good today. So JSTOR is a good option. The Gale Literature one is a good option as well, and you can search that. Again, I'm hoping you're familiar with some of these from Comp One, but it kind of depends on who you had sometimes. So I would, if you want to write about, if you want to find sources about the specific story that or play that you're working on, filter by literature. But remember, you can also filter by other stuff. You can also do your research on other stuff. So maybe I don't want to do mine about literature. I want to do some kind of history thing. So you can filter the databases by history. And let's look at EBSCO for this one. They all look kind of different, but they function the same. It's going to have a search bar. It's going to have, things like that. So let's see. And maybe I want to look at Harlem. And there's a whole bunch of results. Did you mean Hamlet? No, I did not. Harlem. And Sonny's Blues was in 1957, so I'm just going to see about that. Oh, here's one that's specifically about Harlem communal affect and the Great Migration narrative in James Baldwin's Sonny's Blues. That would probably be literally the perfect one if you wanted to do like a history thing. So just know that there's all this different stuff available. You can look at history databases if you want. You can look at psychology databases if you want. You can look at literary criticism databases if you want. The big thing is that you're choosing to focus, you're choosing to look into something about the story that sparked your interest. So maybe you didn't love the story overall. That's fine. I don't care. But some part of the story was probably more interesting to you than another part. So we will look for those things. And I will tell you, if you're writing about the thing in the forest, that you may not find many sources that are explicitly about the thing in the forest, and you might have to write it more about the Blitz or storytelling or whatever. So if you're not sure what you want to write about, just let me know. But this is how I would go about finding my sources. Now, in another video for your research journal, I'm going to show you how to kind of keep track of those sources and complete the research journal assignment.